We've been together 5 years, married for 3. From the outside, we probably looked like one of those perfect couples. And honestly, that's exactly how it felt from the inside, too. We always did little surprises for each other, helped each other with everything, supported each other through work stress, family stuff, all of it. The sex was insane. Friends joked about it. Our families loved us together. I genuinely believed I had a happy life. Last week, I had to go on a 5-day work trip to a nearby city. But on the 4th day, my meetings ended early. I decided to come home a day sooner and surprise him. On the way back, I stopped at a bakery and bought his favorite pastries. I was actually smiling the whole drive home, imagining his reaction. I unlocked the door quietly and heard the shower running. For a second, I even smiled. Good, he's home. Then I walked further inside. There was a woman in my bathroom, showering, using my shower gel, and hanging on the hook right next to the door was my bathrobe. I just stood there in the hallway holding a box of pastries, trying to understand what I was looking at. My brain simply refused to process it. And while I was standing there in shock, the front door opened. My husband walked in. He'd just come back from the store.
I'm 41. Second marriage, a child. Life was calm. No huge drama, no chaos. Work, family, routine. Not perfect, but stable. Then I met her. She was 24, tanned, skinny, confident in a way that makes people look twice. The kind of woman who speaks directly, looks you straight in the eyes, and doesn't care what anyone thinks. A couple of words from her and suddenly you feel like a teenager again. She flirted effortlessly, the looks, the gestures, the attitude. And I fell for it. At first it was just flirting, then meetings, then an affair. It lasted 1 month. But in my head it already felt like something huge, like this was the real thing, passion, new life, everything starting over. So I decided to leave my wife. Packed my things, clothes, documents, essentials, 2 suitcases, and drove to her place. I stood at her door like some idiot from a bad movie. She opened it, looked at me, then at the suitcases. Calmly, while taking a bite of a peach, she said, "Between us, it's just sex. I'm not living with you." Silence. Then she closed the door. I stood there in the hallway for about 10 minutes, holding my suitcases. And for the first time in that month, I realized what I had just destroyed.
My sister and I are twins. We grew up together in everything. Same classes, same friends, same room, same secrets. She was always the closest person in my life. But we're very different. I'm the quiet one, the shy one. She's the opposite, bold, loud, always the center of attention. Sometimes it felt like people noticed her first, and only then remembered I was there too. When I met my fiancé, it felt different. For once, someone chose me. Not her, me. We were planning our wedding. One day, I decided to surprise him. He'd joked before about role play, about a mysterious woman showing up at his door. So I told him I was going to university. Instead, I went into my sister's closet. Short dress, lace stockings, high heels, heavy makeup I never wear. When I looked in the mirror, I barely recognized myself. I actually felt kind of brave. When I arrived, he opened the door and didn't even hesitate. He pulled me in and started kissing me immediately. For a moment, I thought, okay, the surprise worked. Then he whispered in my ear, "I wish I had chosen the other sister back then." Everything inside me went cold. I pulled away and just stared at him, trying to understand what he'd just said. Turns out, it was simple. He had been cheating on me. With her, my sister. And judging by the way he said it, it wasn't the first time. My friend hasn't spoken to his father since childhood. When he was 6, his dad kicked him, his mother, and his little sister out of the house. After that, the man barely appeared in his life. The only time he showed up was on my friend's 18th birthday. He brought a cheap guitar and disappeared again. My friend always said he hated him, said he'd never understand how someone could abandon their own family. Years passed, and now my friend is leaving his own family for another woman. He has a wife and a 2-year-old child. I told him one thing. Maybe you should call your father. Looks like now you two can finally understand each other. He looked at me with pure rage. But sometimes the truth sounds exactly like that. He traded 3 years with me for a 10-day trip to Thailand. I was leaving for work that morning. He kissed me, hugged me, told me he loved me. Everything felt normal. I had no idea it was the last time we'd speak. When I came home that evening, there was a note on the fridge. I'm sorry things didn't work out between us. Next to it, $200. No fight, no argument, no explanation. Just a note and some cash. For a week, I couldn't understand what had happened. Then I found out. His mother gave him a deal. If he broke up with me, she'd buy him a trip to Thailand. He agreed. 3 years together. For 10 days in Thailand. My husband has a university degree. I had to drop out when I got pregnant. Now our child finally started kindergarten, and I decided to return to school. I applied quietly, didn't tell my husband. I wanted it to be a surprise. The day I received the official acceptance letter, I was over the moon. That evening after sex, lying on the pillow, I joked, "So what's it like sleeping with a student?" He instantly went pale. Then quietly asked, "How did you find out?" At first, I didn't even understand what he meant. Then it hit me. The divorce was quick. Our child stayed with me. And I had to give up school again. Maybe it's just not meant to be.
For 3 years, my wife and I were trying to have a child. Doctors, tests, appointments. Every doctor said the same thing. We were both healthy, but nothing happened. I still loved her deeply. Cheating was never even a thought. At a friend's anniversary party, I ran into my former classmate, my first love. We started talking. Eventually, we left the party together just to catch up. My wife started calling, first occasionally, then constantly. I kept declining the calls. I had been drinking a lot when I finally answered. She asked where I was. I said, "With a woman." She started yelling that she had been waiting for me at home for dinner. I hate when people talk to me like that. And the alcohol didn't help, so I said something I will regret for the rest of my life. I don't need a barren wife. I'll find a normal woman who can give me a child. She started crying and hung up. That night I slept with my former classmate. I thought I was teaching my wife a lesson. Let her worry a little. Let her understand she can't pressure me. The next morning, her older brother called me. He said she was gone. Her car had fallen off a bridge into the water during the night. Later, I learned something else. My wife was pregnant. She had been waiting for me that evening to tell me. And now I live every day knowing I destroyed everything myself.
I found out my husband was cheating. First rumors, then hints, then people started sending me messages. So I looked her up on social media, and my jaw dropped. I had seen her before, more than 10 years ago, in photos at a man's house. Back then, she was his wife. And I was the woman who broke their marriage. Young, stupid, in love, I took him from her. I thought it was love, thought I had won. She had a small child back then. Now I'm looking at her photos again. Only this time she's my husband's mistress. And I have a small child now too. Karma.